we are going to kick off with our first amazing picture. Now, the company is Ciudadela Property Management from beautiful Spain, and they are building the agentic operating system powering the next generation of property management companies. My dear friends, let's give it up for the CEO and co-founder. Welcome to the stage, Javier Garrido.
12 years. 12 years is what any property manager spends on administrative tasks. 12 years chasing paperwork. 12 years answering emails, answering calls. That's the lifespan of my dog, Puita. Well, I'm Javi, COO of Ciudadela and co-founder. And if you ask me, I would rather be with my dog those 12 years. While every other industry has moved to AI, property management still stuck in the past. You will wonder why. Well, 90% of the property managers are still running their business on all legacy softwares that were built more than 20 years ago. So no connected tools, fragmented workflows, limited automation. In Ciudadela, we believe that there's a way to offer these people a better technological infrastructure. And this is not a niche market. This is a market that represents 14 billion euros just in Spain, and it sits in the middle of a larger real estate business that includes property services, building services, and financial operations. And we didn't end up here by chance. 4 years ago, we started building up the business. We ended up with more than 1K communities, with 25 firms, and we started to create software for ourselves. We ended up creating the first agentic OS for property management, a single place where property owners, property managers, and service operators can come together and interact. And we redefined the way administrative tasks are done in property management. We are 2.5 times faster than the legacy softwares. We increase in 145% the speed of the property management tasks. And Ciudadela is much more than a software. It brings together 5 operational pillars, so no more additional tools, no fragmented operations, and everything connected into a single software, into a single OS. And the market is already validating the shift. That means that we've been able, in the 8 months that we've been giving the software to our clients, 4 million euros ARR, more than 2.5K communities, and more than 17 property managers working with Ciudadela. In Ciudadela, we believe that every property manager will run on an agentic OS, and we have already built it. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness, a strong start there and coming in ahead of time, which is kind of a pro move. But what questions do our amazing VIP judges have? My man over there, that's fantastic. Yes, the mic goes to our king of questions.
Hello, congratulations, very interesting, very successful deployment of the software. I wanted to know a bit more about the full company's business model, whether it's just a single monthly recurring revenue, you take also a percentage of any transactions through your system, or how do you earn from your customers?
We get, out of those 4 million, 2 of them are direct sale of the software to communities that we already have and to communities of the property managers. And the other 2 are additional services, services that already need the community, for example, LEOPD, so things related to regulation, and also topics related to building services that we can also canalize through our software to property managers and therefore to communities.
Excellent question. Yes, straight in with question number 2.
Thanks for the presentation. And my question is, you mentioned that accounting is the main pain for property managers. How do you differentiate in this accounting problem versus established fintechs, where its main value prop it's accounting versus yours, which is a more general?
if you look at the business, there are a lot of business that run on SAGE, typical accounting systems, but the accounting of a community, of a multi-property community, is very specific, with a lot of owners that get a lot of invoices, a lot of bills, and you see that even legacy softwares are very specialized. So we are the specialized software for these kind of businesses.
Fabulous. And that was your 2 questions. No further questions, Your Honor. Just a big round of applause to Javier Garrido.
Thank you.
Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. We're giving our judges a few nanoseconds there to upload their thoughts to the cloud. And as I mentioned earlier, we will be announcing the winners of each category here at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Very exciting. Do join us. There's going to be paparazzi. And then on Friday morning, they're going to duke it out on the big stage, the arena stage, which is very, very, very exciting. So we're going to move on to our next startup. Now, they join us all the way. They're based in Colombia, but their CEO is actually from Argentina. So 2 very beautiful places. The company is called Fibrazo, and they are building the digital infrastructure layer, enabling connectivity and next-generation services across underserved Latin America. What a great pitch already. We are delighted to be joined by the CEO. Give it up for Emiliano Mrowe!
30 years ago, I had my first internet connection at home. But today, there are still 100 million homes in Latin America that lack access to reliable, fixed broadband internet. And this is not a matter of technology. The technology is just out there. It's mostly because traditional telcos think that serving the barrios or the low-income households is uneconomical. They are wrong. Today, infrastructure with technology results in software economics. We are Fibrazo, and in less than 3 years, we built one of the largest internet service provider companies in Colombia. Most people priced barrios or serving barrios as charity, and that's a mistake. We are not pricing them as charity. We are pricing them as a business. But we had to rebuild the whole model from scratch with dense deployment and a software that enables efficient execution and operations, but most importantly, with a pay-as-you-go payment system that aligns the service with the household income. Traditional telcos try to force a monthly payment service to households that make money on a daily basis. That simply doesn't work. We have built over 370,000 home passes in Colombia, out of which 80,000 are homes connected, and most importantly, 60% of these 80,000 homes that are now connected to the internet never had internet before in their lives. We are not competing in a saturated market with incumbents. We are expanding the frontier, opening a new segment in this market, a segment in which we are almost alone, and that enables us to have 77% gross margin and growing, and 150% growth in ARR last year. But the moat is not the fiber, it's the operating system that goes behind it, the thousands and thousands of decisions we have to make on where to deploy, how to do it, who to serve, and to run this pay-as-you-go payment model. I grew up in Argentina, but I spent the last 20 years building infrastructure in Africa and in Latin America. And that experience is what looks like in connectivity. We are raising $10 million not to validate a model, but to replicate it, to go from $11 million to $30 million in ARR in less than 2 years, cloning what we have done in 6 cities in Colombia, in the rest of dense barrios across Colombia. And Latin America comes next. The market everyone avoided became one of the most interesting opportunities in infrastructure in Latin America. They were wrong, and we are just getting started. Thank you.
Wow, fabuloso, Fibrazo, absolutely amazing. Right, but what questions do our judges have? That was a great bit straight away, front row. Yes, we have Olympic athletes ready to give you the mic of power.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I think this is a fascinating blue ocean opportunity. And you mentioned incumbents and saturated markets on the other side. What is stopping incumbents in the future entering this space you found? What defensibility do you have?
It's mostly a business model issue, right? Incumbents are still serving 70, 80% of the population, even though this is not a niche because we are talking about 4 million homes in Colombia alone, 100 million homes in Latin America. To serve these households require a completely different approach that is mostly driven by a pay-as-you-go system, but it's also driven by the whole technology that goes behind to run a model that works for this segment of the population alone. This would cannibalize, the 80% of the market. It's not that the big telcos don't know that this market exists. They serve this market with prepaid, mobile phones, but they have chosen in the last 20 or 30 years not to serve this segment with fixed infrastructure.
Great question. Question number 2.
Thank you very much for the presentation, and again, great work. My question is around the CapEx, and how do you see the technology and deploying those fibers in these neighborhoods?
Absolutely. Great question, because this is many times seen as a hybrid between a pure CapEx or infra opportunity and a pure, sort of software SaaS-y type of opportunity, right? This sits in the middle because it's infrastructure, but the unit economics look a lot more like a software economics, right? So the whole logic for us is building the capital stack that makes sense to finance the CapEx on one end and build the remaining part of the capital, mostly these $10 million, for example, that we are looking for, to foster and enhance the technology so that this CapEx becomes more and more profitable, and it's a lot shorter to pay back. If anyone is in infrastructure, we have a full payback of the entire thing in less than 2.5 years, which for infra is really short.
Amazing. I love it. What searching questions, what brilliant answers. Fabuloso, Fibrazo. Give it up one more time for Emiliano from Fibrazo.
Thank you very much.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Now you see why the front row has such high-powered people in there, because I have to make some very high-powered decisions now. This is a big deal. This is the conference attended by royalty. And to win any of those prizes tomorrow and to win the category is very powerful and could be transformative. So you see all of our pitches are really giving their best, and they are here because they are the best. So that is a few nanoseconds for our judges to send their thoughts to the cloud as we move on to our next wonderful pitcher. They are joining us from beautiful Spain, and they are Find Nido. And the tagline about Find Nido is really, really cool. I think we could use this a lot in Ireland. Now, this is a marketplace for industrialized housing that integrates AI, architecture, and turnkey construction to design personalized homes in record time. Muy bien. We are delighted to welcome their CSO to the stage. Let's give a huge round of applause. Give it up for Sara Raimundo.
Hello, everybody. We live in a world where you can order a car, you can order a mortgage, you can order a meal in just about seconds and a few clicks. But what if you want to build a home? It will take ages. 500,000 homes are missing in Spain. That's the largest housing deficit in Europe, with a construction system that hasn't changed in decades. And that's what we're coming to change. Welcome to Find Nido, the future. The problem with our sector isn't the land, it isn't the demand. It's a system that's designed to fail, with permits that take too long, with costs that are unpredictable, and just a system that's so unconcise that people just decide to give up. They decide not to build. That's why, instead of patching the system, we decided to redefine the entire experience from scratch. We built a platform that brings together developers, home buyers, and architects in a way that's fully digital, more efficient, and at scale. So let me show you real quick what we have built. So we have built a platform that's super easy to use, where anybody can select any plot of land. Our AI will study that plot of land. It will match it to any compatible model. You can get that model and you can configure it both interiorly and exteriorly. You can add extras, get a budget, and you can pay online. And you can track your construction online. So what do we do different? We do 4 things that nobody else can do. Our AI plot matching takes 1 minute. Then anybody with 0 technical knowledge can design their home with our AI configurator from scratch. We generate all legal and architectural documentation online in 1 day instead of 6 months. And because we build through industrialized construction, the prices are fixed at signing. That easy. That's what happens when you use technology at your favor. What's more, we are very sustainable. The numbers tell their own story. We produce 30% less waste, we use 0 diesel on site, and we produce 1/3 of the carbon footprint that traditional construction does use. So the real question is not whether industrialized construction is faster, because it is. It's the only scalable way to build sustainability. 3 years ago, we were 3 people at an office with 1 idea. Today, we're more than 30, running over 150 different projects all among the world. We're in Spain, we're in Dubai, and we're in the USA. We produce 3 times every year. This year, 5 times, with 5 million euros in revenue. So the real question isn't whether we're going to solve this huge problem, because we already are. The real question is, are you going to help us build it faster? Thank you.
Wow, Dios mío, amazing. That was, I did not know that about Europe's largest housing deficit. You know, I learned something on every pitch, that's for sure. But that was great. But what did our judges think? We have the King of Spain here, and we have the King of Questions in the front row. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Very nice presentation indeed, very dynamic. But I wanted to know, I maybe didn't understand fully, is do you have your own architects, your own production, or you put together as well with other architects outside of your Fine Nido team?
We have our own architects, so we produce, we do the designs, we take care of all the licenses, of all the process, and then we have our own fabric. We developed Fine Nido development this year, which is a construction that's fully ours, but we work with other constructors.
Great question. Do we have question number 2? Maximum of 2 questions. Any questions about house maxing? Yes, good man.
Who is your ICP, your ideal customer profile?
Our what?
Your ideal customer profile.
We started with a B2C, but now we're doing B2B and B2B2C. So our idea is to grow so much that our project, that our company is so scalable that we're only like gonna be B2B with huge developments that are gonna make our company very scalable.
Amazing. Big round of applause all the way from Spain. Give it up for Fine Nido. Muchísimas gracias. Fantastic. Sara Raimundo. Muy bien. So you see our pitches here, they're talking about big issues and using technology and very big ideas to make the world a better place, to use the cliche of all cliches. So listen, we're giving our judges just a couple of minutes, or a couple of seconds, should I say, to send their thoughts up to the cloud, because we move things quickly here. We've got so more amazing pitches to impress you and to share their vision of a better future with you. Now, speaking of which, our next pitcher is rocking some branded merch, and they are joining us all the way from the UK. I lived there for many years myself, although I was born kind of next door in Irlanda. Now, our next pitcher is iCook. They are turning health and lifestyle data into clinically backed meal plans and grocery orders for families at scale. Brilliant stuff, and we're about to have a brilliant pitch from their wonderful CEO and founder. Let's welcome to the stage, Maria Kardakova. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Maria Kardakova. I'm a venture scientist and serial entrepreneur. And when it comes to food, there's actually 2 things we usually focus is the personalization, biohacking, or actually the problem that people face across the globe. It's the food insecurity and poverty. And 76% of all people in the world actually worry and struggle with the same question every day. What should I eat to stay healthy and live longer? This question solely cost us 11 million deaths globally every year, with the healthcare system just providing us the information about what to do, but not helping us on the everyday basis. So consumer solutions, they provide personalization solutions, grocery delivery solutions, recipes, or like great taste solutions, but none of them actually provide a comprehensive one. So we created iCook because we want you to eat healthy and know what to eat today for the dinner. iCook generates the meal plan and provide the grocery delivery from your regular supermarket. We actually currently generate the more layers of data by combining the healthcare, lifestyle, and some grocery retail data, combining them together, and just simply, seamlessly delivering the groceries. When we launched our MVP, we actually learned a lot about our average consumers. 250,000 users currently utilize iCook on the everyday basis. And what we learned from B2C, that actually healthcare professionals and trainers and well-being experts approached us and said, we want this for our customers, we want this for our clients and patients. So we decided to do the pivot and start the B2B2C with a projection estimation of 21 million users by the end of 2028, starting with approaching well-being centers and insurance companies. We also expand our revenue streams to the blood testing companies and the grocery delivery infrastructure. At the moment, we are targeting 156 billion market with a projected revenue for iCook 12 million. And we are currently launching the startup that's already showed the profitability. And we've been bootstrapped, went profitable in 1 year, and currently raising 1 million with a 600 soft committed. And to back up our amazing team and bring on board more experts from across the globe, spreading to different countries. We are targeting South America and Emirates. And if you want to commit to our round, join us as we are building the future world where food, tech, and health finally speak the same language. Thank you.
Fantastic. Landing it exactly right. Thank you so much. Muy bien. My goodness, 11 million deaths. This is big stuff happening on the stage here. Big problems, big solutions, brilliant minds. But what did our judges think? They are busy tapping in their iPads. They are sending their thoughts and marks up to the cloud. Now, questions are optional. Sometimes we don't get any questions. We have a question from the king of questions, my friend in the front row. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Very interesting and hopefully impactful for many of us. But wanted to know a bit more about your model. You already have some revenues. How are you earning from your customers or brands?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, we launched MVP as a B2C consumer app. It's App Store, Google Play, freemium subscription model, 115,000 annual revenue at the moment. And we want to expand, we want to grow and have more customers on board via the well-being and healthcare infrastructure.
Great questions. Getting under the hood. Yes, sir. Brilliant.
Hi, congratulations. Really exciting business model. I've actually met a few of these in the US, and a lot of them have pivoted more towards insurance companies, so I really like what you're doing.
The GLP-1 assistance is on our radar, yes.
And so as you scale spend, do you think you'll be doubling down more on sort of the insurance side, because it is harder to acquire customers profitably on the organic side? So I'm curious as where the growth is coming from and where are you going to double down?
So the growth is coming from also projects like Pure Gym, Peloton, those projects that hasn't been backed up by the nutrition side. So we currently got the contract, and in just a couple of weeks we had 12,000 people on board just instantly. So we want to replicate this model with the well-being partners. With insurance companies, we need to launch clinical trials within the GLP-1 infrastructure. We have all the settings ready to do so. So part of the funding that we are currently raising will go to do the model proven.
Fantastic. That was two great questions there. Can we get a huge round of applause for Maria Kardakova from iCook? Thank you so much. Okay, my friends, you will have noticed there, as Maria did, as many of our pitchers do, when they deliver the answers, they're kind of extending the pitch, and maybe there was a bit of Well, the invitation for partnership there, she mentioned insurance companies. So like the folks who are here on the stage, they really do use the time very well to reach out to our judges, to share some invitations, to plant some seeds, and to connect with all of you, and all of you joining us on the live stream. So thank you for tuning in. Hashtag South Summit 26 for all of the FOMO-inducing posts, my friends. Right, we are going to move from iCook to our next wonderful company. That they are from beautiful Spain, a country I am absolutely honored and very happy to call my home these days. Been here for 8 years, pero mi castellano es un poquito fatal, so yes, I do speak in English as a preference. But our next company is called Macadam. Now, Macadam is the gamified tech platform turning daily steps into rewards to fight the global sedentary crisis. My friends, the more I hear about the dangers of being sedentary, the more I know it's so important to move, to keep moving. And our wonderful next pitcher is going to join us. She likes to move it. She's ready to slay. She is Diane Vey, the head of comms and public affairs from Macadam. Let's give it up for Diane. Thank you.
Good morning. Wow, qué nervios. What is a typical day like for many of us? You wake up, maybe you do a bit of workout, and then you sit at your desk, behind your computer, you do a bunch of calls, and then for lunch, you order in, and at night, to relax, maybe you watch a nice series on Netflix. Never in human history have our lives been so sedentary. According to the WHO, 1 in 3 adults is considered physically inactive. Sedentarity is now one of the leading preventable causes of death globally. But here is the paradox. Even though we all know we should move more, we fail to do so. Why? Because the brain is biologically wired for immediate gratification, for dopamine. That's why we created Macadam. We created Macadam to overcome the short-term bias and to transform movement into long-term health benefits. We launched Macadam in 2022 in Spain, in Barcelona, with one mission: fight sedentarity by making movement irresistible, rewarding, and fun. How does it work? Very simple. You walk, and once a day, you convert your daily steps into coins. Second, you enter a gamification loop that will incentivize you to walk even more. So you do challenges, you look for coins on the map, you do treks, and you walk a bit more every day. Third, you enter the reward ecosystem, where you can redeem your coins for cash, gift cards, or donation for charities you care about. We have 15 million users globally, and we're aiming at 20 million by the end of the year. We are available in 51 countries, even though Western Europe is our core base. We are bootstrapped and profitable. We are a team of 36 people from 13 different countries. But the metric we are most proud of, by average, our users walk 25% more with the app than before. Our business model is very simple. It's free for users, it's paid by brands. So we have 2 high-margin revenue streams: performance advertising on one end, brand partnership on the other end. In short, we created an economy where staying healthy is the most rewarding choice you can make. Join us in making the world move. Thank you.
Wow. Magnifique Macadam, that was wonderful. My goodness, you know, I think more and more research is showing that you just have to move every day. You don't have to go to the gym for hours, just move. That's why I love this. But our judges are going to have more questions. And yes, okay, we got our 2 questions have gone on. Whoever wants to go first. That's very sure. I'll come to you next.
Thank you very much. Amazing. We were already in the filtering part, amazed about the evolution of the company. We really wanted to see you. So, quick and easy question. Who pays the cash rewards? It's not the brands, it's you from the money you get from the rewards that decide to pay these cash rewards? So
Of course, we pay them.
you pay
We
them.
pay them. So we have to, and we have this whole system for people not to cash out at the same time. If not, we will go bankrupt. But we have, so we delay it over time. And of course, so we have to keep our finance very tidy in order to be able to reward our users. And the more we grow, the more it's something we look deep into.
Thank you very much. What a fun startup. I think gamifying things is key at the moment, and how you measure success there is how much time a user actually spends in the app and how much they click through the different brands that are actually paying you and generating the revenue. What kind of metrics do you have on average of those 50 million users in terms of activity in the app and recurrence?
Well, on the 15 million users, we have more than 1 million daily active users. We have a retention D30 by 40%. And we have a very good average of monthly active users on daily active users of 45%. On the time they spend, for us, really the important part is for them to connect every day. It's the metric we are selling to brands, and that's what they're interested about, because then we have a large volume of audience. So for brands, it's an easy way to communicate about something healthy, like a sustainable purpose, while reaching a lot of people.
Très bien. Oh my goodness, no further questions. I'm afraid only 2 questions, my friends. But do please find her after and ask questions after. That's great. And any of you in the audience, you want to connect with our speakers, do so. Use LinkedIn, use the app, make sure you have the app. A big round of applause. That was wonderful. Magnifique. Macadam. Merci beaucoup. Diane Vey from Macadam there, that was great. I mean, honestly, I would give all the points to all of the startups. I'm impressed by every single one that comes on the stage, but this is why the judges are there. They have a very difficult decision to make. They have to allocate those points, and they have to choose the winner of this category. It's a very big deal, and we're very grateful to have them here. Now, speaking of which, we are going to move on to our next pitcher. They are joining us all the way from beautiful Portugal, and our next platform is actually called Mani. And Mani is your personal agent that ensures you don't overspend on your core expenses. Honestly, I want to install all of these apps on my phone immediately. I need them all in my life. We are delighted to be joined by the co-founder of Mani. Let's welcome to the stage Francisco Valferreira. Thank you.
Morning. So overspend is basically everywhere, but this is especially true in core services. And core services are the things that we really need, but are almost undifferentiated. Think of energy, for example, telco, insurance, or even loans. Most of us will eventually get one of these contracts. Now, you look onto the market, and you can see that providers are basically marketing the same thing at different prices. And what's really interesting is that most people are here. They're overpaying. So why? Usual suspects, so lack of knowledge, lack of time, necessary features like hidden features, and fear of change. So how much or how big is this problem? Well, in Spain, we estimate it to be over 7 billion, sorry. Europe is around 60 billion, and then worldwide is around 380 billion. So our mission is basically to make it zero. So at Mani, we manage your core bills for you. You get all your core services in one place. AI basically makes the decisions for you, and then we have a service called Auto Switch that automatically switches for the better contract. So we launched about 18 months ago, just at the end of 2024. We've scanned over 1 million invoices. We're doing 90 million of contracts management for 30,000 people. We've saved 15 million in savings already, and we've passed 1.5 million in revenue this year. So we started in Portugal, launched only in the energy vertical. We then expand to Spain, and this year we're looking to expand to even more markets and more services. So what is our vision? So in practice, what we want to be is the engine to stop overspend. So we gather and collect all the data about the users, we get all the regulation in place, we get all the docs and the interfaces, and then we expand that proposition to all these different channels. So we have a direct channel, which is our app, but then we can expand to other channels, like, for example, AI models, or even other budgeting apps and banking apps. The interesting part is that then can get access straight into these verticals and these propositions and services, and they can act directly from there. So we allow them to do all these different actions. So search offers, make a switch, get support, and so on. In AI, for example, we build a connector that allows you on Claude, for example, to basically query it and say, can you give me the best contract? Am I on the better offer right now? And if you want, you can basically start the switch from there. So why are we different? The key differentiator for us is the fact that because we have scale, we can negotiate and coordinate users and negotiate with providers the better deals. So we cover more offers than the average player can do. On the other side, because there's obviously regulation, we can act as a regulated entity and act as a barrier for innovation for some of these players, where we access better deals and then can do things that only regulated players can do. So our team combines basically experience in fintech. We worked in London, UK, and US and Portugal. We've run major comparison platforms in Portugal alone, and then we've done most of the work and experience in technology. So that's many. We're here in the Startup Portugal stand, so come meet and say hi if you guys want to. Thank you.
I love it. Team Portugal representing at South Summit 2026. We love it. Okay, that was fantastic. But do our judges have any questions to go under the hood of that excellent pitch? Now, sometimes we do have no questions because the pitches have answered every question. Is that happened today? We have a question. Wonderful.
Basically, how's your business model when collecting the revenue, and how much negotiation power you have? Like, how much are you able to reduce an average bill for a user or a company?
So the average, usually when people come to us, they're in a really bad contract. So that's where they save most money. We do around 20 to 30% reduction in cost. The way we make money is twofold. So one, we have a subscription model. So users pay us to get more advanced features. So better scanning, access to specific deals, and so on. And on the other side, we act as a marketing driver for some of these providers. So they pay us for acquiring some of these customers, and they pay us a commission.
Great question. Yes, we have another one. Fantastic. Muy bien.
Congratulations on doing this. Why Revolut or Monzo or any neobank is not going to build this inside their app as a feature?
Yeah, so I think from our perspective, what we see is there's a lot of underground work on the operational level. So this is not only a software play. A lot of the integrations they have to do with providers are really manual. So it requires basically some of the dedicated work to do that on combination with the regulatory work. So I think that eventually they can step into this market and build what we're building. I think it's more likely that they use us as a service. And we are already working with some of the banks. So for example, I don't know if I can disclose exactly the bank here, but some of these banks are already, using us as an upsell because they want to differentiate from neobanks. And we're one of the neobanks that you mentioned, I can't say which one, basically acting as a perk within their plans. So I don't think they're, it is possible that they can jump into this market, but I think it's more likely that they use us initially before jumping in straight ahead, because there's a lot of manual work that is not digital already, and we can just build the API.
Oh my goodness, our startups need to be on their toes with those excellent questions. Can we have a big round of applause for Francisco Valferreira from Mani? Thank you. Obrigado, brilliant. Wow, you see exactly why our front row is full of who it's full of, because they are able to see behind the veil. They see the corner, the little crack in the pitch, and they say, actually, you haven't answered this in your pitch, I would like you to dive in. So the questions are so insightful, and it's also really insightful to see how all of our pitches, they really use the question time as a way to expand on their story and maybe to spread some seeds and inviting people to collaborate. Absolutely love it. That's brilliant stuff. Okay, so we are moving on to our next wonderful pitcher. They are, of course, joining us from beautiful Spain, and the company name is Quaya. They are transforming school operations through secure, traceable, and real-time communication between schools and families. Es muy importante. We are delighted to have their CEO and founder joining us on the stage today. Please give it up from Quaya for Carles Porta. Thank you.
Okay, this is Quaya, the place to give teachers their time back, because their mission is to teach, and ours is to ensure nothing gets in their way. Maria, this is Maria. She has 26 kids in front of her. She should be teaching, but instead of this, Grandma is picking up today. Betty is not having lunch. Ann's dad is not allowed to collect. Every single day, hundreds of requests scratched via email, WhatsApp, etc. Lands in her school. No traceability, zero legal cover. This makes Maria to draw in a chaos she didn't create. But this isn't just an inconvenience, because 1995 law and incoming child protection law means that the lack of control today will become a legal liability tomorrow. Schools don't have a choice anymore. Let's see an example. Parents can manage all their family in an only click. Today, neither dad nor mom are able to collect if. One click, and they authorize Berta. They stand by, and at dismissal time, Maria only needs to look for if and check that Berta is authorized. Done. Everything has been done. Parents receive a push notification, and a school gets an automatic full legal record. This isn't optional. 28,000 schools in Spain face a legal compliance. That's a mandatory market conversion, equalizing inside 140 of them. We haven't addressed yet Latin market, but there is a mass there. Because of this, Peru, Mexico, Colombia, and Venezuela called us, and they are all with schools paying for the service. 100% of retention. Every single school that has introduced Kuaya is still with us. This quadrant, nobody else owns this quadrant. Academic platforms manage grades, communication sends messages, and Kuaya is the only platform that tracks, authorizes, and legally protects every single transaction between families and schools. The average we sold last year per school in the new schools was 3,600 euros. We have introduced new partners who are already introducing new schools and paying for the ones we have. We are in an investment round of 200,000 euros. 67% will be aimed to sales and marketing in a moment that the product is validated and with a proven retention. Schools are literally asking us for new functionalities, concretely the payment that we have developed already. Okay, do you remember Maria? Her mission is to teach. Ours is to ensure nothing gets in her way. Thank you very much.
Muy bien, muchísimas gracias. A lot of information there. They're the only company in that quadrant, and this is not optional. So I'm sure our judges might have some interesting questions straight away. Yes. Oh, with the old mic here, sorry. Give it another try.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Perfect. Thank you, Carlos. Congratulations for your presentation. Selling to schools is something very seasonal, right? So are you planning to expand your business model in order to be able to capture more value from schools, considering that only selling software allows you to sell during 3 months period during the year?
Yeah, sure. We have interoperated with platforms that already existed in Spain, as ClickEdu, for example, and we are going to be sold from them too. And we are going to introduce money every month with them. Another thing is that the catering enterprises and the school transport enterprises are our customers too, with a B2B2B, and they're introducing us new schools, and they're paying every month. And besides, the system of paying for transactions, we are having a commission from every transaction. Thank you very much.
Great question. Do we have one more? One more question? Going once? Any more? We do indeed. Yes, thank you. Thank you. The young woman in the front. Great. Thank you for jumping in. Can we, la micro? Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you very much for the presentation. In terms of insurance and liability, if an accident is to occur in transportation, who would be liable and how is that worked out in the app?
Sorry, I will ask you to repeat me because my hearing isn't very good, and so is possible?
Yeah, sure. Hello. In the case of an accident, who is responsible to cover the costs?
Well, I think I have understood you. If not, we will meet in the backstage in a while. So, yes, everything we register is automatic registration with a registration with the logons, etc. And this had work for the judges when they have asked for this registration. Is this what you have asked me for?
Yeah.
Yes. Everything has a traceability and is being really useful for the schools.
Thank you.
Fantastic question. That's like, these are the details we need to know. This is why the front row is the front row. And that was a great session. Muchísimas gracias. A big round of applause for Carlos Porta from Kuala. Muchísimas gracias. Muy bien. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to give our judges a few nanoseconds. You know, it's not easy to be a judge. They have to decide between all of these amazing pitches, which are all brilliant, and they have to judge them on specific criteria, and that's going to be deciding who rocks the stage tomorrow as the category winner and goes on to the grand finale pitching competition on Friday at the arena, the main stage. So it's all to play for. But you'll see there, our pitches are about sharing the seeds, sharing the love, impressing some people, making connections. And if you are an investor, if you want to collaborate with any of these companies, make sure you reached out on LinkedIn or use the South Summit app, which I really hope that all of you have on your phones already. Right, we have reached the grand finale, and they join us from beautiful Sverige. Now, I am a big fan of music. I actually have a radio show every 2 weeks in Brighton, UK. If you'd like a playlist of fresh music every 2 weeks, reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm very, very happy to connect. And this actually addresses one of the most interesting things about music and its potential to generate revenue. So our next company is Tangi Market, and they are turning music into a tradable investment asset class, making it as easy to invest in music as in stocks. All right, I think we probably have some Bad Bunny investors in the audience already. My dear friends, please join me in welcoming to the stage the CEO and founder of Tangi Market. Give it up for Linda Portnoy. Thank you. Big round of applause.
Hi everyone, how's it going? Let's start with a quick question. How come you can invest in Apple or Nvidia, but not in ABBA or Bad Bunny? If that caught your attention, you're going to want to remember Tangi Market. Imagine owning 1% of your favorite song. Then you would get paid every time it played, in cafes, in stadiums, when it streams on Spotify. You see, music is no longer just something you can listen to. It's an asset you can invest in. And the biggest players in finance, they already know this. Institutional giants like BlackRock, they're pouring billions of dollars into cultural IP. And why is that? Because it's a massive and growing market. But music as an asset class has not been available for you and me to invest in. What if we could have been an early investor in the Beatles back in the day when they lacked funds? So here's the real problem. There's a market for everything but culture. Markets price stocks, commodities, coffee, gold. Even the price of money is decided on the currency markets. But there is no NASDAQ for music until now. Yes, you guessed it right. So Tangi Market lets investors buy, own, and trade music royalties directly from their phones. We built the marketplace, we've proven investors want in, and we're earning revenue from marketplace fees and recurring services. Music is our first vertical, but, and this is important, we have a patent for the use of AI to build not only music markets, but markets for any cultural asset like books or films or games. Today, we have 6,000 users across more than 50 countries, and investors on our platform, they've earned average annual returns of 16%. So that's not a concept, that's a functioning market. We're early days, but the path to profitability is pretty straightforward. Our revenue scales with marketplace volume. So marketplaces take time to build, but when they scale, they dominate. I'm Linda Portnoff. I am a former drummer who somehow ended up getting a PhD in accounting and finance, but that comes in pretty handy when you're building in the intersection of culture and capital markets. And with our team, we have strong domain expertise within intellectual property, capital markets, tech, and AI. So yes, we're building in this space. My time is up.
Your time is up. Join us in shaping the future
Yes.
of music and IP investments. A
Thank
round
you.
of applause for Linda. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tack så mycket.
Yeah,
Okay,
tack.
but don't go. Don't touch that dial, because that was packed full of interesting ideas. Do our judges have a question straight away? Yes, they do. Yes, 2 questions already. Brilliant. Thank you.
Congratulations. Looks
you.
very exciting. So with two-sided marketplaces, you obviously need to, like Uber or any of those, you need enough supply so that there's demand comes to the platform. So in terms of the music or the investors, is there one that is more challenging to acquire so that you can grow both, so that there's enough music and investors that have music where they can invest in?
Yeah. Have you worked with us? But it seems like you really get this. So like you say, we have the supply, which is we need to get music rights on the platform, and then we need to have investors investing in these assets. And it was sort of a cold start problem for us, but I have a background, I sit on the board of STIM, which is the ASCAP or BMI of Sweden. So we have access directly to all those 120,000 songs, and we have partnerships with all the collecting societies worldwide. So that's sold for. We have $20 million worth in our asset pipeline. And with the retail investors, we realized that they invest with small tickets. And we also made it possible for them to get in with small tickets. So now we're targeting institutional capital.
Muy bien. One more quick question. Thank you. Gentleman in the white shirt.
Thank you very much for the pitch. Amazing. The question on my side is there a negative bias to capture musicians that are not being funded by traditional record companies? Do you think you're capturing like this?
All about the indies?
Yeah, we work with any music rights owner. So it can be the struggling up-and-coming artists or really, famous artists. And because investors, they want to invest in songs they know. But the ones who need money the most are the ones up-and-coming. So we do work with the whole spectra, if that answers your question.